In the Monsterverse, we are very aware of the two alphas and kings in the universe: Godzilla, king of the monsters, and Kong, god of Skull Island. These two creatures, very iconic creatures that have been presented many times throughout history, many different forms, different metaphors, different media, all sorts of ways to be done. After many years of these two just building up since their last crossover, in 2020, we are finally going to get their crossover once again, with these two fighting head-to-head once again. Now, in this video, we will discuss the potential of them possibly, one of them dying. The beginning is just going to be speculation talk, and without any spoilers for the movie. Then towards the end, I'll start putting in what I believe is spoilers, or possibly potential spoilers for the film. So I'll warn you guys before I get in that category. But for now, can either of these two die? We know in the Monsterverse both these monsters are very powerful, and we're not going to power scale either of them or any sort of way, fashion. Both of them showed impressive feats, with Kong able to survive napalm, which can reach temperatures over 5,000. That, and with very little scarring, burns, hurt, just some mere fur burn off. Very little visible damage to his body. And this is him as an adolescent, and him only passing out from oxygen deprivation, and he has much more time to grow. As we are very aware, he will be probably close to Godzilla's height in this movie. Godzilla, on the other hand, has way more impressive feats, able to survive the oxygen destroyer, which I believe we learn later in the movie, although the fish died, they eventually did disintegrate and were nothing. We also learned that Godzilla is capable of surviving a fall from the stratosphere without dying, granted in a supercharged form. He's able to pick up and throw the near 150,000 ton King Ghidorah off the ground by one head of Ghidorah's, and swing him and throw him pretty far with very little momentum. Again, in a supercharged form, but granted. He's able to survive attacks from the Mutos. Creatures evolved to kill him. And we've seen him throughout the Monsterverse take very many major feats. He's able to take nukes right to the face, and all he does is get stronger. On the other hand, Kong, we haven't seen as many feats for, as he's not presented as much in the Monsterverse. And most of the time he's presented, he's an adolescent, he's still growing. We've never seen the fully grown Kong. We don't know how well his durability could be and such. So, would either die in this film? Would it make sense for either of them to die? Well, we do know that Godzilla has some very obvious weak spots, mostly shown off in the 2014 film. On the other hand, the 2019 film didn't really use these weakness spots as much, but in the 2014 film, we learn that Godzilla's gills are definitely one of its big weak spots. We see human artillery, missiles and such, able to seemingly hurt him. Not doing any crazy sort of damage, but enough to reel him back and cause him to screech out in pain. We presumably get annoyed, break the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Mutos are able to make blood squirt out from these spots when they attack it with their sharp claws. Like I said, we don't see it utilized much in King of the Monsters, but we do know it's a blatant weak spot on Godzilla, and definitely could be used once again, especially with Kong. And Kong, on the other hand, we've seen him able to survive attack from Vietnam helicopters very, very well. A whole group of them with very little injuries. He was able to get cut up by one of the blades and such, but he was able to come back and just heal up. He was able to take on the Mire Squid, a creature able to shred its opponent apart while it's wrapping its legs around it, and its ink is able to just burn the water around it. It's so hot, and able to burn whatever it touches. And is able to fight the Skullcrawlers, and the big one, which these creatures were able to kill off his species down to him, remain the only one, the Guardian of Hollow Earth. These two are on very different levels and feats, though. Godzilla has been proven to be much more powerful and much more battle, I would say, efficient in terms of like just pure raw strength and such. We haven't seen enough of Kong, especially not ever seen something of a fully grown Kong. He doesn't have much major competition throughout his film, and doesn't show as much major durability feats as Godzilla in his movies. But if we're even not going off this, what would make sense from a story perspective? Would one of these monsters kill the other one? Why would they? Well, simply, if this is the last Monsterverse movie, I could see it being a really good chance that one of the monsters could die. One of them could kill the other one. That could be a win. Now, how would this be done? Well, it simply comes down to who they want to win, and just if it's the end of the Monsterverse, who they would want to just carry the crown for the rest of the Monsterverse. However, if they plan on continuing, that comes down to more legal. If Godzilla is out of the Monsterverse after the 2020 film, I see it very likely being him the one to take the hit and dying, if they were to kill one of them. Godzilla not appearing in any other film, that, and even if you do kill him, it could leave the door open as the Hall Earth. We know is a very big area, and it's very possible there could be more species of him living. Kong, on the other hand, it's been very distinctly clear that his species has died off, and they won't be they won't be coming back anytime soon. And with him gone, the species should be gone. Him, the guardian of the Hall Earth. From a story writing perspective, I think in general, if Kong were to win, if he is the underdog, like many of us assume he will be, if Kong was to win, and be the one that could possibly continue the Monsterverse, or just from a story perspective, it would make more sense for Kong to win. We would be able to connect to him more as an audience, and even although the fans won't like it at all, the general audience will still be more connected to Kong winning. It might be a cliche, but the underdog story is a very common news story because it's a much more satisfying than if the person you expect to win wins. Does that mean they'll do it, though? We have a whole team of fans that are much more closely in depth with Godzilla than Kong. We know Michael went back to do rewrites, him and Zach, and the rest of the King of the Monsters team. We knew they went to do rewrites to make everything coherent and fit. It's possible he also said that Kong's going to be more human-like and be able to react with humans and stuff, interact, and it's probably very likely that he'll be the more emotional drive of the two Titans in the movie. So, would they kill either of them? These are two big names. I think in the end, if they wanted to end the Monsterverse properly, especially to leave the doors open for future films, neither of them would die. I don't personally think either of them die. If one of them had to bite the dust, I'd say in terms of legally, it would be Godzilla and storytelling. But if we're talking about in terms of just an actual thing that makes sense, Kong would probably be the one to bite the dust. Plus, his character has always been known as the more tragic character of the two, going through many deaths pretty much in almost all of his movies. Very tragic, sad scenes. And it would make much more sense for him to die in terms of just his character. His character is known for a lot of the deaths he has. So, with that being said, let's move on to the spoilers. If you don't want to know any possible spoilers or any actual spoilers for Godzilla vs. Kong, please click off the video now, because we're getting in spoiler territory. So let's begin. So, recently, Saika, a really reliable source who said a bunch of stuff about Kong and this movie and Godzilla, got all the King of Monsters right, and has proven clear back in April that Kong has an axe, which we have seen, and Mechagodzilla is going to be the film with robot, claw machine hands. Well, he recently confirmed the final fight's going to go 1v1, another 1v1, and 2v1. What's this mean? Well, it means that there's definitely going to be a 1v1, which he has confirmed, a fair 1v1 between Godzilla and Kong. Then there's going to be another 1v1, where the winner most likely is going to fight Mechagodzilla, make the most sense, and then a 2v1 where the two are going to team up against Mechagodzilla. Well, nothing's directly stated. It's pretty obvious how they're going to do it. So, clearly no one's going to die during the actual fight between Godzilla and Kong. However, will someone die to Mechagodzilla? He has stated that no one dies in the fight between Godzilla and Kong, and he did specifically put, at least for that fight. There's a good chance, with that being said, that he's hinting at someone dying later in the film. Would it be Godzilla and Kong? Personally, from the way he talks, I would go to assume that Godzilla's going to win the final battle, and Mechagodzilla can come in, beat him up real bad. Kong's going to come in, they're going to team up, and Kong will do a tragic sacrifice. There's nothing to confirm, prove, or disprove that, but it definitely seems like that would be the most likely thing to do, especially for a tragedy. However, if Kong character is dead, if he dies, he's gone. The Monsterverse won't have any more of his species unless they get a similar species or just write another member of his species secretly in the whole time. Wouldn't make any sense, but they could do it. Godzilla, on the other hand, if you kill him, he can always have other members of his species you can bring back and put in. Would they want to do that? Would Toho want that to happen? Who knows? I don't know if they really want to kill anyone. We know MG is going to be very powerful in this film. Because he even stated it. It's very, very valid to know that MG is going to be extremely powerful. And it's very likely that one of them could die, especially if at least in this fight. It's very likely possible that one of them could die. I definitely think, like I said, Godzilla is going to 1v1 Mechagodzilla, and Kong, after losing the battle, is going to get up and save Godzilla. It's going to turn into a 2v1. It's possible he'll sacrifice himself so Godzilla can live and be the true guardian since he is the alpha. Whether or not that's how it plays out, I don't know. It's all speculation, but it could be very likely that's the way it will play out. Since, like I said, Kong's much more tragic, and I definitely would see it more as Godzilla being the one that has to be stuck with a 1v1, unless for some reason they want to turn the tide, and Kong somehow beat Godzilla, Mechagodzilla comes in and does a beatdown on him, then Godzilla gets up and helps him out. Also be pretty epic, but would Godzilla sacrifice himself? It'd be interesting to see if he sacrificed himself to his doppelganger. It would be something not so as much heard of, him sacrificing himself, dying for another creature, especially not one of his species. You know, it would be definitely very interesting to see, especially if Kong 1v1ing Mechagodzilla. That'd be really cool to see. I definitely could see it as Godzilla winning, and we see just explosions hit Godzilla's back after Godzilla 1 standing over Kong. Mechagodzilla showing up, starts attacking him. It could be very likely. This will be a very deadly battle and a struggle. I definitely think Mechagodzilla will be a Titan that dies, but it's really hard at this point to confirm or disprove that Godzilla or Kong are going to die. However, at least for this fight, it definitely hints that there's a really good chance one of them will die. I think, simply put, if it's the end of the Monsterverse, they think it would go out with a bang, they could kill one of them. But they want to continue, especially with Godzilla in it, and they'll probably have Kong for the rest of the movies anyways. Why would you want to kill him here? You know? Why wouldn't you want to continue the brand afterward? Do you want them both to survive, go their own separate ways? Unless, like I said, you're going to introduce a new Godzilla. It's the only way I can see it working out and playing the way that should work. I don't see any other way for this to work. Unless, like I said, they just want another Godzilla to come in. If Kong dies, he's gone. His species is gone. The only thing you could do with him is make prequel films and stuff before that. Why they could be very enjoyable. It will have a different feeling to it since we already know what's going to come. Not saying that's good or bad thing. There's good prequels, you know. But it would definitely be very interesting to see how it plays out and what their plan is. What do you guys think? Based off the spoiler stuff, who do you guys think is going to win the fight? Do you think either of them are going to die? Do you think MG is going to die? I would say it's pretty obvious. And personally, I have no idea if they would actually be willing to kill either of the Titans. The big king of the monsters, whoever's crowned or not. Do you guys think Godzilla's going to die? Kong's going to die? Do you think either? Both? None? What do you guys think? Please let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please share, subscribe. As always, peace. Bye-bye.